Hello everybody, Steffi here from The Makers. Maybe you saw the slight little blooper that happened here at the very beginning where I've had the wrong screen up just for a tiny second. Haven't done bloopers for such a long time. It's about time to do it, and I also just noticed I look a little bit disheveled. I've been up to Glasgow and I've been to see lots of lovely people in Scotland, which was absolutely amazing, and we've had a lot of fun, a lot of support, and so thank you very much everybody who came to see us, and yeah, we'll be back definitely. So today we're here to make Mr. and Mrs. Tomte. Now I want to put them this way around because their hats need to touch, and I almost think that they should have that in a heart shape because they are definitely very much in love with each other. This is a two-part needle felting make along, so you can actually do this while I'm chatting away and making them myself, and I will be working on both of them simultaneously. So if you have got Mr. Tomte, then you can make him, and if you've got Mrs. Tomte, you can make her too. And of course they come out of our pack here, which I'm reliably informed that at the time of streaming this, Mr. Tomte is out of stock, but Mrs. Tomte is available and Mr. Tomte will be put back into stock. However, I am going to be on Create and Craft tomorrow, and they will be featured on there too, and that is at 1:30. So let's find out what you can win yourself today. On our live streams, as most of you know, there's always a giveaway. And today it's the Robin picture kit, which makes 2 A5 pictures with this lovely robin sitting on a snowy branch with a wintry background. And the question, or the thing that we would like you to tell us, is how did Mr. and Mrs. Tomte meet? So how do you think they met? Pop that into the comments box, whether you're watching this live today on what is today? Today, I have no idea what date it is today. I'm clueless. Hang on, I need to count back. 23rd is Saturday. Friday is the 22nd. Thursday is the 21st. Wednesday is the 20th. So it must be today is the 19th of October at 1 o'clock on YouTube UK time. And we're restreaming this on Thursday, the 21st of October. Sorry, guys, that time is just rushing by, and when you're having fun. So yes, tell us, how did these two meet? They are very adorable together, and they spent every day together, so they're very much in love. How did they meet? Tell us about it and give us a bit of a giggle. So I'm going to open this Mr. Tomte pack now, and I'm going to use the overhead camera, but before I do this, I'm going to say hello to lots of people out there. Right, let's have a look who is here. We've got quite a large viewership today. Alicia is here to support. Thank you, Alicia, much appreciated. Sandra is there. Jane is there. Donna is there. Rachel, maybe not with Daniel today, as she doesn't say Daniel is there. Marion is there. Donna, another Donna is there. Here in California, looking forward to the broadcast. My kitty woke me up and I was upset until I realized it was Make a Long Day. Yay! Excellent. Those little kitties, they're funny. Talking about kitties, just while we're talking about this now, we have now got the Cats Protection kits are available to buy, so you have to pop onto the Cats Protection. Oh no, that's not it. Here they are. This butterfly is barging in whenever it can. The Cat Bauble workshop is now open and ready for you to get involved in. It will take place, the actual tutorial will take place on Saturday the 27th of November, live via Facebook. However, there will also be a link that you can get if you're not on Facebook at all to watch it as well, so it will be recorded, and it's £20. You have to buy this via the Cats Protection website. So we don't sell these kits, we post them out, we make the kits, we've designed the kits, and we pack the kits when we post them out, but you can't buy them via the maker site. You have to go onto the Cats Protection website, which is www.cats.org.uk/craft for cats, all in words rather than in letters, sorry, in numbers. So get your pack now, and you can choose between a tabby cat, a grey cut, a black and white cut, and then the torty and the ginger, they are one joined kit. So you can, if you have a torty cut, and then you have to get the torty and tabby and ginger cut box. So they're not split. They're sharing one. They're best friends, and they're sharing one pack. Right. That was just reminded me, Donna. Thank you for telling me that I needed to share that. Who else have we got here? We have got Karen here. She's saying, hi Alicia, from me, Sapphire and the chickens. I don't know who Sapphire is. Gina is there. Okay, she needs stub therapy today, don't we all? Carol is there from Ireland. Marion, I've said that already. Vampire Venom is there. Ashley is there. Grandma's Footsteps. Oh, and that is Wendy. So nice to meet you, Wendy. I don't think I've seen you here before. Lots of chat going on that I'm trying to ignore. Meg is there. I probably said that already. Diana, all the way up from the Isle of Mull. I always want to say that because it seems like an even longer distance than California, even though it's not. But having driven to Glasgow and knowing that even people who live in Scotland would still take 6 hours to come and see us, made me realize that the Isle of Mull must be a long, long way away. Who else have we got? Eva is there from Norway. Lovely. Heather, Melanie, and Pamela from Oregon. Sandra, I've already mentioned, but she says Mr. and Mrs. Tomte met over a bowl of porridge. Mr. Tomte porridge all over his beard. Mrs. Tomte cleaned him up. Oh, how sweet. Melanie is there, another Melanie. And Bridget from Australia. Carol, I don't think I've mentioned. Erica from the Netherlands. And Grandma's Footsteps. So Wendy says they met at a toadstool Christmas dance. Nice. Right, let's get cracking. So let's open this pack. So here we have the pack. When you open it, there will be the instructions looking at you first. I've taken it out just to remind myself what I actually need to do. Remove all the excess fluff and tools. And you get step-by-step instructions in both for Mr. and Mrs. Tomte. This is going to be an interesting live stream. Just looking at the images, I'm already starting to get slight onsets of giggles, but I try to contain myself. And we will get today, hopefully we will get to this stage. So we're doing today the basic shape, and then we're adding more basic shapes, and then we are dressing our Mr. and Mrs. Tomte, and we're making the arms and attaching them. And then in part 2 next week, we're going to give eyes. We're starting with a beard, with Mrs. Tomte, the little plaited, the plaits. Can't think of the plaited hair, and then get the hat ready, and we will also then make the feet. So that's it. And in your oops, something's just fallen down. Just gonna have to pick that up. Ugh. It's this butterfly today. He's tipped my display over the edge, so I don't know what he's trying to tell me, but I'll probably have to show you in a minute what the butterfly is all about. This is the template. This is the template. This is the template. The template. Oh God, it's already starting. My words are already getting muddled up. For the Tomte. So in your pack, it's massive. There's lots of wool in there. You get a really big wad of lanolin rich core wool, which you will need. You get some lovely flesh pink. I think it's New Zealand Merino. Is it? No, it's actually the Australian Merino. You get forest green, you get red variegated, you get some Gotland Island grey, and you get some light grey tops. And this is for Mr. Tomte. And then for Mrs. Tomte, you get, let's get her in here as well. By the way, if you're trying to get into the boxes, it's best to peel the tape open rather than trying to cut it. It's actually comes off quite easily. And here we go. Mrs. Tomte, you get obviously the instruction for her version, and you get for her a lighter green, and you get this beautiful soft goat mohair top for the plaits, and you get a lighter grey, the Gotland Island lamb, for her feet. So that's basically what you're getting. I'm going to take out today both of the out of both packs. I'm taking out what we're using today and do the same with Mr. Tomte. So I've got them all at the ready, and the rest I'm going to put away. Right, there we go. Let's get started. Let's do a little bit of stubbing or stubbing therapy, as somebody called it earlier. By the way, I met Pam Duffy while I was in Scotland, in Glasgow, which was lovely. After all this time, we've been chatting to each other and supporting each other on our YouTube channels, and it was really nice to finally meet her in person. I've met so many people I haven't seen in a long time and never seen before, and so that's really lovely as well. And it's quite funny. It probably happens automatically that people come to me and they say, "Oh, hi, Steffi, it's so nice to meet you," and I really want to know who they are. I really want to know who they are, but they treat me like I know who they are, because they think that even though I know them and I talk to them by name, I actually don't know what they look like. So next time you come to a show, please tell me who you are. Tell me, please, because I don't want to ask in case I've met you before and then I've forgotten. Oh, yes, such a dilemma to be in. Right, I'm going to start with Mr. Tomte. That's actually Mrs. Tomte's pile. Let's start with Mr. Tomte. Not that there's any difference on the Lanolin Rich core wool. This is going to be quite a large project, so a lot of it I might just do here on the big screen so you can see it happening. And first of all, the Lanolin Rich core, you get 50 grams of the Lanolin Rich core wool. And you are taking 3/4 of the Lanolin Rich core wool and spread it out into a flat piece of about 25 centimeters wide and 50 centimeters long. So first of all, we need to split it. Now there's already sort of like, I don't know, 1/8 or something like that. So I'm taking 1/3 off and put that bit with it. Put that on my Tomte pile. And now I have got a strand here, and it measures... It's actually about 35 centimeters long and 25 it needs to be, and it's only 15 centimeters wide. So I'm going to stretch it a bit, because the length can be the length of this piece. So the width of this will become the length of the Tomte. So I'm going to show this overhead. So you've got your, you have your strand here now, and now you start winding this in from one end. So I've got to read this now. Fold over one of the longer sides, roughly 1/5 of the total width. So the piece now measures 5 centimeters. So I've got to fold some in, about that much, which becomes the firmer base, and then roll it up. So I'm rolling this up now. I don't want to fold this side in. This becomes the hat, so I don't want this to get fatter. And then you roll the wool in, so you have one thicker part here on one side, whether that's the left or the right. I'll roll this in, and then I get to the very end of these wispy fibers, and as usual we tease them out for as long as we can, fold them in, and then you're going to use a medium felting needle. So the Lanolin Rich core wool is often happier being stubbed with a medium needle. I am actually using a coarse needle here, but let's just see what happens. Yeah, the coarse needle works too. So stub these wispy ends into your shape now, just to secure it. And I hope you can't hear what I can hear, which is the chainsaw outside, which my son is using. And I have told him repeatedly, can you please not use it between 1 and 2? So guess who's going to be told off later. Right, so there we go. Now the shape is closed up, and it will look like this underneath. And the reason why we want it to look underneath like this, because we want to maintain a cavity here. So if you've rolled it up really tight, do give it a bit of a like jiggle to open it up again, because I'm telling you this now, if you want your Tomte to have a little bit of weight added, I've got a pebble here, and I'm going to put that in at the very end into my Tomte. Not now, but I'm just showing you the roughly a size so you can go looking for a stone. and that will give it a really nice weighty bottom to stand up, because it is going to be quite a large project, but it's not going to be very very heavy. Right, so the other end will be thinner, and it will become the hat. So the first thing we're going to do now is we felt this down into a pointy shape, and if you have a 3 needle tool, then that would be perfect. So it's a good idea to already look at the template that you've got in your instructions, which is here, because that's the size we're aiming for. So if your shape goes off here, then that's good. If it's not quite there, or if it's exactly there, then that's perfect too. We can adjust a lot of the shaping as we're felting it. So I'm going to use my 3 needle felting tool. I've got my clover tool here, and I'm just going to stab this end down so that it becomes pointy. Now, if you stab the end down so it becomes pointy, you always have to concentrate the needle here right at the tip, and that is a really good way to get the end pointy. But I'm not too worried if it's not the perfect looking hat, because we're going to cover all of this finally with another color wool, as you all know. So let's just get it pointy. That's the main aim at the moment, is to get it into a pointy shape. Now, like I said, it doesn't need to look perfect at this point. Just get it felted so that it is actually ending slightly tapered, going towards the tip of the hat. There we go. So it won't look pretty. Trust me, it doesn't have to look pretty. Just get it down there and get it felted down. You can use a single needle if you prefer. That works too. So just keep stabbing it in that direction. I thought it was actually quite cool today, but now as I'm sitting here stabbing, I'm getting a little bit hot. So I might have to take my jumper off in a minute. Right. Hope that works for everybody. I'm just going to go to the big camera so you can see. This is what my Tomte looks like now. It really doesn't have a pretty hat at the moment, and that's okay. It will all be covered up later and will look a lot nicer. So there we go. That's him at the moment, and the template that I have got here. Let's hold him up against it. That looks quite good that way. There. So yeah, that's perfect. Quite softly felted. He's not been felted down very hard at all. Now you do exactly the same with Mrs. Tomte, so nothing's been different here so far. So we're moving on to the next thing. You have got some set-aside wool, and that is to give this cone shape a bit more of a shape. And so the area from here to where the hat starts should be 15 centimeter. So at the moment the hat is only that tall, and that's fine because we can add lots more later on. So don't worry too much about that yet. But what you do is, it's 14 centimeter at this stage. So but it will be extended further with colored wool later. So that's absolutely fine. So you can felt the shape down. I've wound it up quite tight, but you can just give it a little bit of a felt all over, a bit of a stab with the needle all over. It is a beginner's project. It is just large, and it's probably one of the largest things that I have needle felted. Certainly it's one of our largest Tomte. So don't be put off by that. Sometimes going large means you have to add more detail, but with this one there's not terribly much detail on there, so you're all good. Right, so the next thing we're going to do, take a piece of lanolin rich core wool and tease it into a flat strip around 5 centimeters wide. So this is from the pile that you've put to one side, about 5 centimeters wide. So that's a bit, let's see, that'll do, 5 centimeters wide. And then you fill that, you wrap this around the top part of the cylinder section. So remember that you need about 14 centimeters at least for the hat at this point, and 15 centimeters at the base. So you're making a slightly fatter area around here, and then you're felting that down. I've been running so many workshops, and the one thing that I've been saying is your tomte, well, it wasn't just always tomte, it was other thing, but whatever you're making will look as different as we all are. So whilst we're starting out with the exact same wool, the same quantities, and we're using the same instructions, everything will always look slightly different. And that is the lovely, beautiful thing about needle felting, which I really, really love, because there's no pressure to make a carbon copy. You design your own creation, and we will love it for what it is, and you will love it too. So I'm felting this down now because I'm making sort of a fatter, can you see how that is a fatter area, and that is basically which will become the face, or the where the nose will be attached, and the eyes later. And then you're making a similar shape around the base of that cone shape. So you've done it here at the top now, and now you're going to do this exact same thing by using another flat 5 centimeter long. If you've got a piece like this, just keep teasing it until it's the shape you want it to be. So just make it longer, and then if you want it to be fatter to add more bulk, then just make another piece similar and lay it on top. So now you've got two on top of each other. So there's a lot of things you can do just with the wool that you've got available. And I'm just going to put this around the base now. So this is going to be wound round here. So now you're getting a slightly bigger shape around your the bottom part of your tomte. And that's still the same for Mrs. Tomte too. The variation will happen. You can felt this down from underneath, but remember to keep a hole there if you want to weigh down your tomte by putting a stone inside. So that is Mr. Tomte and Mrs. Tomte, both exactly the same. I've made another one earlier, which I've put down somewhere as always and can't find it, so I might have to quickly do this while I'm chatting to you for a second time. So you can see, look at your template again, you will see the it's sort of corresponding with a shape on the back. It's not exactly like this, but you can see the shape that I'm trying to get at. And then you just felt this down, making sure that you still got those two slightly fatter rings around your cone shape, and just felt it down. When we add the top wool over the top, we will still be felting the wool underneath, so we're not going to go crazily heavy-handed on this. We just want it to stay in place and to maintain that shape. And that is what I love about the Lanolin Rich Core Wool. You can actually felt this down very little and still have a nice solid shape there. So these two, Mr. and Mrs. Tomte, are felted quite softly. So that's why the template is quite handy, so you get an idea of how hard you felt it down. Right, so that's now the shape made, and the next part is all to do with nose and cheeks, okay, and that is where it starts to differ. So with Mrs. Tomte, you're going to make 3 pink ball shapes, but they are slightly different different proportions. Let's just have a look. Missing a page here. So you have so for Mr. Tomte, you put a generous pinch of your flesh pink bats to one side for later, and that's the same with Mrs. Tomte. So you just you've got all your flesh pink here, and now you're just going to take a generous pinch off, like that's a generous pinch as far as I'm concerned, and then you've got all the rest of the pink left here. And then you split this remaining flesh pink into 3 equal portions. Whereas with Mrs. Tomte, that's Mrs. Tomte, 3 equal portions. Whereas with Mr. Tomte, you should split the remainder into 3, but 1 portion should be slightly larger and the other 2 should be equal. Reason being that Mr. Tomte has got a bigger nose and smaller cheeks, whereas Mrs. Tomte has got as big cheeks as her nose is. So this is basically how you're going to split. I'm going to do that overhead so you can see that better now, right? So this is what I'm going to do for Mr. Tomte. Sorry, Mrs. Tomte. 3 equal parts, okay? Pretty much the same now. What I'm doing for Mrs. Tomte, after I've taken a generous pinch off, I'm, oh my goodness, I'm getting confused. Let's start again. Mr. Tomte, Mrs. Tomte has got 3 equal parts. Goodness gracious me, if you're going to make anything out after this, I'll be totally surprised. Mrs. Tomte, 3 equal parts of pink. Mr. Tomte has got 2 smaller parts and 1 bigger part. So I think that's probably like that. So that's the bigger part and these are the 2 smaller parts. Yeah, definitely. Okay, right. Just to repeat it, to try and completely undo any confusion I have caused. Mr. Tomte has a bigger nose and 2 smaller cheeks. Mrs. Tomte has got the same size cheek and nose. Right. Now, let's roll these up into the shape. So this is Mrs. Tomte now. I'm rolling this into a ball shape. I'm doing this exactly 6 times because I've got to do Mr. Tomte as well. So I'm rolling this into a ball shape by just winding the wool in. And as I'm doing it, I'm sort of slightly turning the sides in so that I'm getting to a ball shape rather than an oblong shape. So I'm literally covering it as well as I can, teasing the wool out as I go along to give it a nice even cover. And then when I get to the end of that shape, I just stab the wispy fibers in, and then you can stab this all over a little bit to maintain a round ball shape. So give it a few stabs all over. Again, it doesn't need to be needle felted down solidly. It stays quite soft because we're going to do something different with that later. But for Mrs. Tomte, I would definitely say try and keep it nice and round. So that's one part of her, and as all 3 parts are the same, I've only got to make another 2. So there you go. That's my first ball. Put that to one side. Next ball for Mrs. Tomte, same size or thereabouts. It's going to be hard to get it exactly the same, but we can all but try. And if she has got a slightly bigger nose, so as long as 2 parts are the same for both of your projects, which are the cheeks, otherwise it looks they've got toothache and have got one bigger cheek than the other. So get this stuck down and make that into a ball shape. So remember, you stab the needle where you want the reduction to take place or where you want to tuck in wispy fibers. For those who are new to needle felting, that's just a gentle reminder what you're actually meant to be doing. The needle goes in and out in a straight line, so try to avoid any sort of pressure that you put on the needle by putting a curved line into it. So don't do anything like that, or going in that way and coming out that way. That's not what we want. We want to go in and out in a straight line. Right, ball number 3 for Mrs. Tomte, making all same size shapes for her. Tease the end of the wool out, roll it up as you go along, stab it in so that the wispy fibers that are now inside the main shape will hold the shape together, and stab it all into shape. Remember, while you're watching this, to give us the thumbs up. We are heading so close to 4,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet and you're a regular watcher, what are you waiting for? Come on. And if you're brand new and you might not even have thought of subscribing to our channel, well, here you go. Go and subscribe to our channel. Tell your friends. We have lots and lots of free tutorials on our YouTube channel, and we have most of the kits are available to back them all up. We also sell everything that we use because we only sell what we love, and I think that's sort of a good motto to have. Right, here comes the test. Not bad. 3 equal sized balls, nice and ready to be attached to Mrs. Tomte. Now comes the next test. I have a feeling that I need to split a little bit off here to make his nose slightly bigger. So these are better. Yeah, these are better. Right, let's start with his nose. That's meant to be the larger part. Now Mr. Tomte's nose. Let's just have a look. So I would say try and make this nose round. And I'm only saying it because if you attach a nose that is oblong with 2 round shapes by the side, I don't want to do this. I really, really don't want to do this because it's going to be, yeah, what can I say? You all know what I'm talking about. So let's keep it round, okay? Let's keep it round. Let's give him a round nose, not a long nose. However, if you feel you need to do this at home, feel free. Just don't share anything with us. That looks rude. Or please do share it on Everyone a Maker anyway, where it's all safe. So Everyone a Maker is our Facebook group where we only share makers, makes, and products. You can ask questions about our products. You can provide useful tips about our products. Note that I keep saying our products because that's what it is. We're totally biased at the Everyone a Maker's Facebook group. We totally own up to it. It's our group supporting our products, our groupies, our fans, our friends, our fluff, our everything. There are plenty of other groups that you can join if you want to sell your items that are not makers items, which I'm sure they're very, very beautiful. But please stick to maker stuff on our Facebook group, Everyone a Maker. Right, that's his nose. That's Mr. Tomte's nose. Give it a bit of a jiggle around in your hand. And now I'm meant to be making 2 smaller ball-shaped cheeks. And they are face cheeks, not the other kind. Oh, got a bit of green in there. It's going to be green with envy in his face if I keep it there. Right, so now I have got a smaller ball. Yay, I think I'm heading in the right direction here. Smaller ball for one of Mr. Tomte's cheeks. And I really, really hope you can't hear that chainsaw in the background. As my frustration with my son is building. Better do a bit more vigorous stabbing to soften the blow afterwards. Right, second shape for his face is done, and it's smaller. Yay! Okay, last one. If you find that you're heading into a large direction with the third one, as I have a feeling I might with this one, I'm just going to take a bit off. So just to be consistent in terms of size. And let's get this felted down as well into a ball shape. And in a minute I'm going to go onto the big screen and I'm going to find out where Mr. and Mrs. Tomte have met. Okay. Right, let's go onto the big screen for a minute. What I will do is I'm just going to show you this butterfly poster that I have got. I'm going to let you look at this for a minute while I'm going to shout at my son. Just bear with me. I'm going to mute myself so you don't have to hear it. But read it here for yourself. I'm back. Okay, let's read this and then I'll tell you what happened just then. So the Red Admiral Butterfly Workshop is now available. You can get your pack directly from the Butterfly Conservation. This is exactly what we did earlier this year in the summer in July with a large blue butterfly, and this time you can make a Red Admiral and you can book your place directly with the Butterfly Conservation. Right, so all available now. And what happened was that I was out there, I opened the door, took a deep breath, and I was about to say, and then I saw it was the gardener. So I haven't said anything, so you're going to have to listen to it. I can't tell the gardener to stop doing his job. So if you can hear this, it's not the chainsaw, it's actually the hedge cutter. It's cutting the hedge. Anyway, right, let's have a look at what's happening here on our chat. Oh, we've got lots of people watching, how nice. And I've got to try and scroll back. Oh gosh, how far do I have to get back? Oh my goodness. Okay. I need to show you the cats for real as well. They're sitting here behind me. Have you spotted them? They're all here waiting patiently. This is how big they are. They're a big project. So Yeah, and they can be hung up on the tree. You have to provide your own little hanging device to hang them up. There you go. And yeah, they'd be so cute on a Christmas tree. So do make one. Maybe you can gift one to a friend who has got a cat. How about this one? Because in the cat's protection box, you get a little label that says "made with love" or something like that, or "felted with love for you," something like that. So you don't have to buy it just for you to make it. You can actually make it for somebody else. Okay. Where have they met? I think they met on a singles night at the local supermarket. Are there singles night at supermarkets? Where's that? I've never been to a supermarkets where they have singles night. What a lovely idea. Yeah, you can just sort of accidentally bump into somebody and say, last bottle of ketchup. Is it mine or is it yours? We have to share. Let's have a nice, I don't know, chips night in with the shared bottle of tomato ketchup, and they were happy ever after. Karen says they met at the Toadstool housewarming party. Good idea. Sandra says Mr. and Mrs. Tomte met over a bowl of porridge. Mr. Tomte got porridge. No, I've read that already. Oh my goodness. But it's still really good. They were out separately picking mushrooms and were concentrating so much with their heads down and bumped into each other literally, and it was love at first sight. Oh, that's nice. They met picking tomatoes at a local farm. Nice. They met at a tom-tom party. Okay, get it. They met in the park while admiring each other's very tall hats. Nice. Mr. Tomte was on a relaxing holiday and Mrs. Tomte was serving him his hot chocolate, and they fall in love. How nice. They met at the annual Tomte Christmas craft fair. Oh, you all have such a great imagination. Mr. and Mrs. Tomte met while at a snow party. Mrs. Tomte saw Mr. Tomte and liked the look of the handsome young man. She threw a snowball and it hit his beard. He fell in love with her cheeky nature. Oh, lovely. They met at a Toadstool Christmas dance. And Alicia has just asked, can people from the United States or other parts in the world get the butterfly and the cat's kits? And the answer is yes, in theory. You have to message the cat's protection people or the butterfly conservation and ask them to quote you postage. But we have been sending them out internationally. It's just not as straightforward. Sorry. Need to swallow my spit now and then. Sapphire is Karen Scott's beautiful dog, and her chicken live in the house if they want. Oh, that's so nice. What do you do when they poop? Maybe they're house trained chickens. They met while sheltering from a thunderstorm under a bridge in Norway. Oh, hello, Michael. Haven't seen that you had joined us. Both Mr. and Mrs. Tomte enjoy a glass of stout, and they met in the local pub. Their eyes met when they both sat to the roaring fire and shared their mutual love of stout. Oh, that's nice. They met ice skating on the frozen pond one evening and fell in love under the twinkling northern lights. Oh, nice. I'm going to read this one. I'm going to make another shape and try not to stab myself in the process. So I've got to make another quick cone shape. So if you want to watch this while I'm chatting away here, then feel free if you have joined late. So I've got to roll the sides in, make a slightly larger base here. I'll just roll this up quickly and stab it together. So Mr. and Mrs. Tomte met as they collided while running heads down while seeking shelter from an unexpected cloudburst. You are so imaginative, everybody there. You just obviously have it all worked out how these two have met. Mr. and Mrs. met as they collided while, oh no, we've just read that. Mr. and Mrs. Tomte met in Lapland when visiting Father and Mother Christmas. Oh, Father and Mother Christmas, I like it. Yeah, why ever not? Equal opportunities. Let's have a Mother Christmas there. And then you can share the burden of coming down on your sleigh delivering all the Christmas presents. So that's a good move, that is. Mr. and Mrs. Tomte met in Lapland when, oh no, I've just said that. Oh yes, mother, oh, okay, I apologize now. I think I left half my brain in Glasgow. I'll get it posted down to me. Catherine says, hi everyone, coming in late as I'm in work today. Oh no, how inconvenient. Donna says, I made one already, and to prevent the gap closing, rolled it around an old eco mat. Oh, I see, yes, right. That's a good idea. So you've put the eco mat inside and then what, you pull it out again. Love the templates the makers give us. Thank you, Alicia. Great idea with a stone for weight. Oh, thank you. They were out looking for mushrooms, says VG. Oh, goodness, I've forgotten. Oh, yeah, that's right. Vicky, says Vicky. And run into each other. The rest is history. Oh, jumbo ice cream. Oh, yes, it looks like a jumbo ice cream. That's true. It won't anymore when you put the little pink balls on it. But, yeah, that's another story for another time. Mr. and Mrs. Tomte met on holiday in Iceland. Oh, is Faith in the house? Hi, Faith. Missed you. Haven't seen you forever and ever. But I hear that you are doing well. I follow you on Facebook, so I do get to know some of your adventures. Mr. and Mrs. Tomte met when they were sunbathing on the beach. I can't imagine them sunbathing. Can you imagine Mrs. Tomte wearing a bikini? That would be fun if you put a bikini on her. Yeah, why not? Maybe she doesn't wear bikinis. Maybe he wears bikinis. Sunbathing on the beach and Mr. Tomte's towel, oh my goodness, blew on her. I hope he was wearing something underneath. Love at first sight. Oh. So what did Mrs. Tomte fall in love with exactly? Okay, now I'm going to be the most ignorant person on the planet. But what does KY stand for in the USA? What is that? What is that a state or is it a city, or is it a secret place only Americans know? No doubt somebody will enlighten me. If nobody, it will be Alicia. So they met at the annual teddy bears picnic. Oh. Mr. Tomte has a bigger nose. That's right. Thank you, Alicia. After all the confusion that I was creating, we're going to have them looking completely the opposite way. Right, so I've just quickly made a Mrs. Tomte shape. It really doesn't need to be that, that sophisticated. And now we're going to attach the noses. Kentucky. Oh, I genuinely didn't know that. Kentucky is KY. Oh, okay. Great. I didn't know that. I've learned something today. Excellent. Right, 2 shapes here now. So we're ready for the nose attachments. Let's see how much more. Oh my goodness, how many more comments I've got to read. It's like another 5 pages. Yes, I know, Diana was reading messages while I was stabbing away. It can go hideously wrong, but it didn't on this occasion. Don't copy this. Right, there is Mr. Tomte's nose and cheek, so I'm going to attach these on him first. And for this, you are now placing these onto that first big extra fatter ring around him. And the way to attach the noses and the cheeks is exactly the same. So you hold it on and then you stab into the base of that pink ball. So you're stabbing into the wispy edges of the pink ball and then straight into the white. And that way you're attaching it without flattening it. So you're literally just stabbing into there. And then once that is on, then you're going to add the cheeks on either side in exactly the same way. So they can be sort of, they could be just all on the same level, or the cheeks can be slightly lower or higher, whichever way. Like I say, it's your Tomte, so do what you like. And then on the other side as well. Now, this wouldn't do as a permanent attachment. So therefore we need to do something else here, and the something else is that we're using some of the pink wool that we've left to one side. We're going to spread this into a nice thin cover, and you're going to lay this over your nose and cheeks like that, and then you're going to stab it in first all around the edges. The important thing is that you've got pink at the top and a little bit pink on the sides, but the top part is the most important bit, because where the eyes are going, we want there to be pink rather than just white. So stab all the edges down first of that sheet that you've created, and then start following the shape of the cheek and the nose underneath. So now you're remaking the shape that you've got underneath, and you're going all around in there. And you can also stab right into it if you need to shape it a little bit or attach it a little bit more, just with a few stabs. And that will basically establish now the sort of, it won't look like it's just been attached, but it makes it more integral, and at the same time it gives it that nice shape back. And I'm using 2 needles here just to speed my work up a little bit, because I've got to make a second one. So once you work on one part of your tomte, you will undoubtedly work on other parts again, because you might have slightly flattened their head. So just go over the other parts again as well. And that is basically Mr. Tomte here, with a slightly bigger nose and smaller cheeks. And now I'm going to do the same with Mrs. Tomte. She's got all the same, so you have to decide what the front and what the back is. Starting with the nose, stabbing it all around the edges to sink the little wispy fibers into the cream wool. Get that fastened on, and just to give you the heads up, I think I've got a sneeze coming. Yes, there it was. It's gone. It's working with fluff when we go to shows and we're standing behind the stand, and now and then you got to sneeze. It's usually because the wool gets stuck up your nose, and your body just says, "Gotta come out." Only one way to come out. Let's sneeze. But sneezing is not so cool these days. So there we go. Let's fasten these on. So all the 3 shapes are fastened on. Then I wouldn't, like I say, I wouldn't want to depend my life on them. But because we are adding the pink cover over the top on this one as well, so make a nice dense but not too thick cover. We're not building bulk. We're just trying to fuse them all together and make them into this nice sort of face here, and then just stab it on all around the outsides first. There's going to be so much still added to the shapes that it doesn't matter too much what it looks like under the cover that's going to go over the top. So we know that the hat will be a different color. We know that with Mr. Tomte there will be a beard underneath his nose, and with Mrs. Tomte she will have what you call it, she will have, well, she's missing 2 boobs at the moment, so she'll have those straight under her face. Sounds a bit weird, but that's just how it is in the Tomte world, in my Tomte world anyway. Get these felted on. Here we go. And if you need to reduce the size of these pink balls that you felted on, then obviously you can just stab into them and reduce them, because there is probably quite a bit of air in them, or just leave them as they are. It's entirely up to you. Maybe you've made them smaller in the first place, but in any case, Mrs. Tomte has basically got 3 balls pretty much the same, and I don't know, this always looks extremely weird to me. And probably to you too. So we have to move along quickly with this one. Now, let's stick with Mrs. Tomte, because the next thing that happens with Mrs. Tomte is, and this is an extra step that you don't have to do with Mr. Tomte, you're going to have to take her cover, which is our rainbow, is our green rainbow drops. So it's got like little colorful spots in there. Can you see them? That's quite, I love that wool. And you just take 2 equal pinches. In fact, what you do is you split this in half, the whole lot. You split in half there, and then from one half you take 2 equal pinches and felt 2 ball shapes as before. So 2 equal pinches. So this is sort of depends how big busted you want your Mrs. Tomte to be. 2 equal pinches there. And then you're rolling these up in exactly the same way as you did with the nose. So roll them into a ball. So she could be really big busted, I suppose, if you want to make her big busts. Stuff them down into a ball shape. And exactly how you did it with the nose and the cheeks. Stuff these down into a ball. Again, I haven't felted them very solidly. I'm just trying to make sure that they're nice and round. Well, Mrs. Tomte's boobs are nice and round. You can make long ones if you like. Like I say, you design your own. And then you do the same with the next one. Roll it into a ball. Tease the last wispy fibers all the way so that you can fold them around the shape. And stuff these wispy ends down. I wouldn't necessarily do this without looking. There. And as you can probably guess, what's happening next is you're going to fasten these on by stabbing them underneath her nose, like that. And you fasten them on initially exactly the same way by stabbing around the edges. I should also just say, I probably have said it, so on Thursday at 7 p.m. on our Facebook page, you can watch this again. Tomorrow I'm going to Create and Craft, which is Wednesday. So if any of you are watching this on Create and Craft, I'm not so sure what I'm demoing yet. I still have to have a think about it. I don't think I can demo this on Create and Craft. Then you can definitely rewatch part 1 either on YouTube, or if you want to be in for a chance to win your Robin picture, then you can watch this on Thursday at 7 p.m. over on our Facebook page, and it should be there. So right, I've got 2 boobs attached now, and now I'm going to do exactly what we've done before with the face cover, but this time I'm using the green. That's that part of the green I've used before, and I'm covering, making them sort of part of her lower color and dress. And obviously I need to tuck the wool away so that it doesn't spread out over the nose. That would look definitely weird. And stab it down all over first, and you can already start now coloring in her lower body. So this is Mrs. Tomte, and you can follow the shape of her boobs as well, like that, and all around. And let's just get that wool felted down and start coloring in her lower body. And for that you use the rainbow drops, the green rainbow drops. And all you need to do is keep to that line, so under her nose, we're just going around her back as well. You've got plenty of green wool to color her in. However, you do need to make sure you're keeping some wool aside for arms. And so I'm going to read this carefully now, what I've actually written, because you split your green wool rainbow drops into half and put one portion aside for the arms. Okay, so that's basically what I've done, but I've gone a little bit, I've had a little bit less than half, that I've put a bit more than half when I put this to one side. So that's here, put that to one side. And from the other half, take 2 equal pinches and felt down two ball shapes as before, but I've done these. but this time they will be about 2.5 to 3 centimeters in diameter. I didn't measure them, I'll be honest. I've just done them. And then you cover those with a green wool as before, and then you start felting her chest or her tummy and her lower body. Cover it all in green wool, and you use the remainder to cover the rest of the body. So this just needs to be a thin cover. We're not trying to build bulk, we're just trying to get rid of the white. So felt that down and get that into place. And you're doing exactly the same with Mr. Tomte, but not adding the boobs. So you're starting to felt him down by splitting your green wool in half as well, and getting the green wool in place. So I'm going to have a quick look oh yes, let's talk about, whilst I'm stuffing away, I'll tell you a little bit more what's coming up in terms of live streams. So we have got a full program. Obviously next week we're finishing off Mr. and Mrs. Tomte, so we need to make the other parts, which basically will be adding the eyes, adding the hair or the beard, depending on which one you're making, and then getting the feet done as well, and covering the hat, making the hat taller and making a nice shapely hat, which will take a little while to do as well. The week after that, let's have a little look what we've got coming up. Next live streams. The week after that, on the 2nd of November, is going to be the seal. Now the seal is a pre-recorded live stream, because I will be on my way to another show again. This time we will be going to the creative craft shows in Birmingham. So if you want to come and say hello, we will have a stand at the NEC for 4 days, and there is also workshops, so you can book onto a real face-to-face workshop with me during that time as well. The week after that is the mini wreath, which is the 9th of November, and that also is a pre-recorded video, a live stream. But you will absolutely, that is a really nice project, and I'm annoyed at myself because I was meant to bring the actual wreaths with me, but they're about 10 to 12 centimeters in diameter, and they're super cute. They're a really lovely Christmas tree decoration, so don't miss out on that. It takes very little wool, and you can probably use it as a stash buster, where you only need a pipe cleaner and mostly white and blue wool, and then a bit of red, bit of brown, a bit of green, and you're all in business then. And then the week after that is the Christmas elf on November the 16th, and that's one that Sophie will be doing. So you some of you haven't seen her for a while, but she will be doing that particular one also as a pre-record, because she hasn't got the capability at the moment of doing this live. So that will also be a pre-record. However, don't despair, we will be in front of you live again, and we will just treat it like a live. There will be a giveaway, there will be everything exactly the same. Alicia will be there to watch it. It's not just because we're not really there, doesn't mean to say we're not there. And then after that, we've got a full program after that, and I will just tell you what it is, because I'm going to do live the Wren the week after, which I love. I'll teach that Wren at the recent knitting and stitching show, and I will be teaching it again in Harrogate, and it is a beautiful project, really is. You will absolutely love that one. So I will be doing the Wren, and on the 23rd of November, and then, believe it or not, the 1st of Advent is already on November the 30th. So on November the 30th, by that time, you will all have had the Animals in the Wood Advent project pack, and you can then start making along with me on the 30th of November, which I think that one is also probably going to be a pre-record, because I'm not going to even physically be in a place to do this, so it will be a pre-record, and then it's all live. Then it's all live. I'll be there with you just leading up to Christmas, when we're all nearly at Christmas, and that is the second part of the Advent project, which, by the way, has sold out now. So if you haven't got it, you won't have it. You won't be able to buy it now. And then we've got the 7th of December, the 14th of December, and the 21st of December for the Advent project. However, we do still have the Advent calendar, which we are now also taking 2 shows. So we kept some aside to take 2 shows for those people who can't actually physically buy online. But we still have them listed online as well. So it's not too late to get your Advent calendar if you haven't got it yet. And then I think the only other couple of things that I need to tell you is also that we have got a new date for our winter retreat, and that was unfortunately the venue had to cancel our date that we had in the diary for the end of January and have given us the weekend before, which is the 21st to the 23rd of January. We've already had a half fully booked a team of people who were going to come. Some of them unfortunately couldn't change the date, and we're really sorry about that. We've been gutted basically with the venue putting the date back. So, but if you if that maybe has freed up some time for you, then do get in touch. Email info@themakers.co.uk and let us know that you want to come and be part of that wonderful retreat. We will be making, the main feature is a dragon. Now yours can be any color, and it can do it can look really fearsome, or it can be it can look really calm and lovely and sweet and whatever. You design your own dragon with claws, with posable limbs, with posable tail, with fire spitting, or whatever you want it to be. It's yours to design. Right, well, I've been chatting, I've filled in Mrs. Tomte's lower body. So the same has to happen with Mr. Tomte, and that's going to be your homework. If you're making Mr. Tomte and Mrs. Tomte at the same time, you're going to be making the filling in the lower part of the body in your own time. But what I will be showing you, and that's the last thing I'm going to do today, and then we're going to draw a winner, is I will just show you how to make the arms. So you've got your leftover wool. From the portion of green wool that you previously put aside, reserve a pinch for later, then split the remainder into half. So the a pinch of that I'm taking off, and the remainder I'm going to split into half. I think I've also just lost Alicia, so I've got to give her a call back. I'm just doing that now. So I'm going to split that in half there, and I'm going to roll this now into a flat sheet of 10 by 15 centimeters. 10 by 15 centimeters roughly. And now I'm going to split the remainder into half, shape one half into a flat sheet about 10 by 15 centimeters. That's it. So I'm just going to shape that now into a 10 by 15 centimeter shape. Felt it down. It doesn't actually say you have to felt it down, but I'm felting it down a bit, just because it's a little bit wispy and not quite together. And then you're going to roll this sheet into a soft sausage shape, so that it is about 10 centimeters long, which is actually, it's 10 centimeters long, so I've got to roll it that way. So I've got pink wool on my felting mat. There we go, into a soft shape, which I've herewith have done. Felt the wispy ends down to close the shape up. And now you felt it down with your coarse needle, and then you make a second arm in exactly the same way, but one side you're going to felt flat, like literally flat from both sides. That's the part that gets attached to the side of her body. Okay, and then you make a second exactly the same way. So the arm is really soft at the moment because there's other bits will be happening to it, and I need to get the grey out of the box that I thought I wasn't going to use for her until her feet, but I've forgotten that she needs to have her arms needle felted on as well. To maintain the roundness of the rest of the arm, you have to keep turning it. So felt into it, but remember to turn it so that you're not flattening the rest of the arm. So keep stabbing into it from all directions, and firm it down a little bit and make that end round by just stabbing over into it, and to close the fibers up here at the end. There we go. Mind that you don't stab yourself if you're doing it this way as I'm doing it. There you go. So now you've got an arm, and now you're going to do exactly the same with the second part of your wool. Because my wool is a bit bitty, I am just stabbing it down a little bit, so I've got a better base to roll it up. When you stab anything flat on your mat, you have to lift it off your mat regularly. So make sure you lift it off. You can even stab it from the other side. And then once you've got a nice flat sheet, you might have a flat sheet without having to needle felt it. Make sure you roll this up so that it's about 10 centimeters long. Stab the wispy ends in. So I'm repeating exactly what I've just done a minute ago. There we go. Make one side flat, really flat. Felt it flat, 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 flat. On both sides, keep that flat because that will attach against the side of her body. And then felt the other end round into sort of a stump, if you like. And that part will receive her arm in her hand in a minute. Now, if you wanted to, I've given her grey mittens because it's cold in winter. But you could put pink around her hands. It doesn't have to be the grey, so I've got some pink left from the faces, or you could use the grey. That's up to you. I might just use the pink as I've got it here. If I've got enough, it's not very much here. Okay, I've just got to get some out of the box. So for the Mrs. Tomte, you have the lighter grey. A lot of it will be used for her feet, but we have got plenty in there for her hands. So split your grey Gotland lamb butts into 4 portions for 2 hands and 2 feet. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to put 2 one side for the feet, and then you're going to wrap the end of this with the wool, and you're going to do this as far to the edge as you possibly can. You can pull it quite tight. Felt it down, close the front up first so you tuck the green away, no green visible, and you've made a little, given her a little fist or a little grey mitten there. And I think whilst I'm finishing, the arms of Alicia can now draw a winner for our Tuesday 19th of October competition here on YouTube. And then she will do the same on Thursday, the 21st of October on Facebook, but obviously I can't announce that. If you're watching this any other time, we're in 2021, then this is not obviously happening live and you've missed the boat altogether. However, we do this every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, and so you've got lots of opportunities to win a prize, and we always do this on a Thursday at 7 p.m. over on Facebook as well. So wrap the other. These arms are left quite soft on purpose because they are more posable if they're left soft. So close the front up first so that there's no green visible. Okay, we have a winner for today's live stream, our Mr. and Mrs. Tomte live stream on the 19th of October, live on YouTube, and that is Pamela M. Pamela M, get in touch with us, please, by emailing info@themakers.co.uk. Remember, we spelled with double S, and just let us know that you have won yourself the Robin Picture Kit at today's live stream, and we will post this out to you after we've made sure that we've got your details to do so. And on Thursday, good luck to whoever is winning it then. And well done to whoever has won it. So 2 sets of arms, and all I'm going to do now is I am literally felting them onto the side of the Mrs. Tomte by stabbing into the flat end that I have felted down already in preparation. So they can sort of be slightly at an angle facing forward. You do the same on the other side. Don't worry if they have to go slightly higher than you had expected them to go, because you can, obviously, all of this will be covered with a hat, so it doesn't really matter what it looks like underneath. And you can bend them down a little bit. This is why we're keeping them soft, so you can actually make them into a softer shape by stabbing into it, like slightly bending them in. And if you, with your remaining green, you can cover the join up as well. So just add a little bit of green over the join, and then they look a lot more like they're properly attached and not just needle felted onto it, like they've actually grown out of her body. And then for you at home, if you're doing both Mr. and Mrs. Tomte, catch up and do the cover for Mr. Tomte and attach the arms, make the arms and attach the arms as well. And that is how much we're doing today on our Mr. and Mrs. Tomte needle felted projects here. I've been waiting a long time to make these, and you will love them. I'm telling you now, they are very endearing little characters. Whether you have them sitting on your mantelpiece or somewhere on the shelf, or even at the base of the Christmas tree, as long as you don't have pets who might have ideas what they want to do with it. But this is, it looks absolutely hideous at the moment, but just to give you a flavor, once we get the hat on, and I will just give you a flavor, once we get the hat on, there she is. She won't be very far from being completed. So eyes in there next time, hat on, and then we make the feet so that she has a nice stable base to stand on. And that is basically how far we have got today. And just to remind you, there she is with her piggy tails plaited, and there he is with his glorious beard. And anybody can see that, yeah, we're nearly there. Lots to get on with at home if you haven't quite kept up. But remember, the video stays on our YouTube channel. You can catch it up anytime. You can fast forward. You can wind back. You can put me on mute. You can put me on standstill, stop, or whatever you want to do, and just craft along and make along. And I think the only last thing I will mention is that we have got a workshop coming up with the lovely Sophie Wheatley, who is an expert at doing pet portraits, and these are now open to book. So drop us a line at info@themakers.co.uk if you're interested in either doing a pet portrait. This can be any pet portrait, whether it's a dog. I know there's only dogs showing, but it could be a cat, it could be a hamster, could be a guinea pig, whatever. And then the second one is the wild animal picture, if you prefer doing something that like a British wild animal or any animal picture that you would like to put forever into wool. It's all available now. So that's all from me today. You will see me again live next week. Oops, just knocked that sign. Let's straighten that out. Let's not leave with a wonky impression on your screen. And yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure being here, and thank you so much for watching us today, again, for supporting us. Thank you to all of your kind words. Thank you for the presents that you send us. Thank you for all the love that you pour out on us, and your appreciation. And all I can say is it's totally reciprocated. I don't know where we would be without you guys, and whilst we might have kept you sane, little do you know how much you have done to keep us sane, especially me. So thank you very much, and that's all from me today. Lots of love. Take care. Bye.